It's gonna be fixed now. There we go. Sorry about that. Brutal by me. But anyway, we have everything working now officially. The mic is working. So sorry about that. Sorry for the sound. I don't know. Sometimes my mic doesn't get plugged in when I come home late night. So anyway, couple quick programming notes. This is what I was about to say. There will be no baseball after dark tomorrow night on Saturday night like we usually do. Instead, I'm going to do Sunday morning. I'll be in California. So I'll do an early morning California stream. It'll be the same time, 10 Eastern, but 7 in the morning Pacific. That's when I'll wake up and hit the stream that day prior to doing Sunday Night Baseball in Anaheim this week, Texas and the Angels. So if you guys want to check me out on Sunday, there'll be no show on Saturday. But we've had good numbers when we've done the show on Sunday mornings. So I think it should be good. All right, let me hop in the chat here, see what you guys are talking about real quick. I see a lot of good mornings. Appreciate you guys. I hope everybody's good. I did see this request about River Ryan. He pitched in AAA last night. So yeah, sure. I'm curious about him too. He popped up on the coffee cups of the top prospects. He was on the leaderboard. So let me just turn on the air conditioning real quick. All right. Just had to go make sure I got the air conditioning right. But hope everybody's good. And we'll just get right into it. There wasn't as many games last night, so it's not like insanely crazy amount of stuff to look at. Gotta fix my source here. Just when you think everything's perfect, there's always another thing in streaming. If ever you guys ever get into streaming and you do everything by yourself like I do, you'll realize that there's so many steps to take. All right, let's find out. I see this question right here. Let me delete a couple tabs and then we'll refresh the baseball and coffee sorter. We'll see who won our coffee cups last night. On the major league level, Michael Harris, Kyle Stowers, those guys are going to both be on the thumbnail. Brandon Lau had a 2-homer, had a big game. So a couple hitters there on the pitching side. Severino, 10 strikeouts last night. Braxton Ashcraft, he's definitely getting watched today. Cade Cavalli had a sneaky good start. I know it was in a losing effort versus the Mets. And Erod, we have to maybe talk about Erod a little bit. He's been pitching well. Spencer Strider, that's a decent start. Did give up a couple runs there, but we've been watching him. We've been tracking him. As for the prospects, these are the Coffee Cup winners from yesterday. Top 100 prospects hitting edition. Ava Arquette had the best day of the night. Not a huge score, but him, Edwin Arroyo, Leo DeVries is in there, 3-hit game. What about the pitchers? And there it is, River Ryan. River Ryan yesterday, AAA, 5 innings, 7 strikeouts, no walks, 2 hits, no runs. Down there in AAA, Oklahoma City for the Dodgers. Jamie Arnold, AA, Midland for the A's, 6 2/3, 1 run. Hagen Smith in AAA did not have a very good outing, and Cam Caminiti kind of a mid outing as well. But yeah, this is like, a fun way to kind of sort it out, kind of see what's going on. I was trying to get NPB, but I wasn't able to rope NPB into this too much. What do we got here in the chat? 35-year-old Tayron Guerrero is back. 6'8". The Red Sox are calling him up. I remember him very vividly on the Marlins. 100-mile-an-hour pitcher. Really good stuff. Really electric. So good to see him back in the show. Always happy for guys to get back in the show. And I did not realize he was 35. Read this too. Saw this was posted in the Discord. Let me just pop over to the solo for a second while I address this question. Interesting Will Salmon article on Devin Williams. The Yanks changed his setup. He didn't feel comfortable. He changed it back a month ago. He's been much better since. Yes, I saw that he had a long meeting with Danny Barnes, who's a great dude. He's the strategist over there with the Mets. Former pitcher in the big leagues for the Blue Jays. Princeton guy, great dude. Great guy to troubleshoot with. He was the one that I would go to besides Hef when I was with the Mets. So anyway, Devin Williams goes to him. They talked about how they thought the Yankees suggested that he move his hands in his setup a little bit because he had a little bit of a tipping issue potentially in Milwaukee. He's blaming that discomfort on, the way that he was, commanding the ball, particularly the changeup. We also noticed something about the gyro, the amount of gyro angle, and basically the way he's spinning the ball had changed over the past several years. That's probably a little bit more of the culprit with the quality of the changeup going from the best pitch in baseball to just merely a unbelievable pitch. So it's still unbelievable. It's more about execution, but like, I think there's a multitude of reasons, and not all of them are necessarily this glove setup. But look, if you're a pitcher and you feel uncomfortable, you cannot pitch that way. You got to be comfortable out there. You can't sacrifice pitch quality ever. So I think that's what we're learning there a little bit. All right, back to the main screen. What teams were playing yesterday? We'll find out in a minute. I'm going to go through all that, but let's hit the standings because we're here Friday, May 22nd. So we're getting close to the end of May. That's usually a pretty good moment to take some stops. So take some stock. So we'll probably do that. I did see Spectre wanted me to throw the one poll. I'm going to do it on the YouTube side. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll get started on the So I'm going to say, who would you want to manage your team in 26? Because I think that's really the question. And the answer, and the two that we were talking about in the chat, it's not like ever, And then you'll see the two, if you're in the YouTube chat, you'll see the two possibilities, which are Doc Roberts, Dave Roberts, and Tito Francona, Terry Francona. So let me get back over here. And we'll get going. AO, a Knicks fan, of course, die hard my whole life. So this is a very exciting moment. 2 wins away from the finals. It's been a while. There's already been some group chatting going on with me and my friends, considering getting in the building. We'll see. So we'll see. What are your thoughts on Spencer Miles? Also planning on watching him. He pitched fantastic last night versus the Yankees for the Jays in the bulk role in the bullpen game. So we'll get to all this. Let's hit the standings, and then we'll pop right in to some fun topics today. All right, Tampa Bay, 4.5 up on the Yankees. They're in first place. They are about to play each other in the Bronx starting tonight. Garrett's on the mound. Garrett Cole, that is, on the mound for the Yankees tonight. The Rays have been just playing fantastic baseball. They find a way to win all the time, whether it's from great pitching, small ball. They have some guys who can juice it in the middle of the lineup. Obviously, Junior Caminero. They're a good team. They're a tough team. I do feel like they're better at home. You can see they're 19-5 at home this year. 14-10 on the road. So we'll see how that one bodes. But Yankees are offense kind of mid right now. It kind of shows whenever Judge is not carrying them. They're in a little bit of a funk a little bit. It's hard to say. They're also dealing with some injuries and some, who's going to stay, who's going to go. I saw they sent Spencer Jones back. And then, now Caballero's back. So he'll probably be in the lineup. Okay, I digress. Baltimore, who's really stinking the joint up. They're in last place, 13 back in that division. Central, Cleveland Guardians, one of Francona's old teams. He had a very, very good run, I thought, with Cleveland over the years. 3.5 games up on the White Sox and 9.5 up on Detroit. Detroit's lost 14 of 16. They are in deep doo-doo. The whispers are starting to build about potentially trading Skubal now. Makes a lot of sense to me, especially if he can show he's healthy. I saw he threw a bullpen, good sign. We'll monitor that. AL West, A's, 26-24. Game and a half up on Texas, 2.5 up on Seattle. They are holding strong at the top of this division, winning their last 3. Angels, who I'm about to see on Sunday, unfortunately stink again. They are 9.5 back, and they're 1-9 in their last 10. They have the worst bullpen I've ever seen right now. Their bullpen is a dumpster fire. Even their guys that I like Pomeranz and Kirby, they're kind of old and not pitching the way that they can. Romano didn't work out. It's just they have some guys with some stuff but can't throw strikes. The whole thing is rough over there for the A's, for the Angels. All right, NL East, Braves, first team to crack 100-run differential. They're positive 104, 35-16, 9.5 up on the Phillies. Going to be an interesting summer if anybody can catch them. We'll see. Marlins, 13.5 back. They've lost 3 in a row. The Mets have actually passed them as they split the series yesterday with Washington, winning that game, and they're about to play each other. So one of these teams has a chance to maybe pull out of the basement. We'll see. NL Central, Brew Crew, 29-18, winners of 3 in a row. They're a game and a half up on the Cubs, who are suddenly scuffling, losing 5 in a row. PCA under fire a little bit. Cardinals are a half game behind them, and the Reds and the Pirates are only 4.5 back as well. NL West, Dodgers 31-19, Winners of 2 in a row. They're going to Milwaukee. That should be an interesting series. For some reason, they're always an interesting matchup. Dodgers and Brewers, the ultimate contrasting styles. So I like to watch that matchup. And they're a game and a half up on San Diego, who's about to play the A's. 29-20 for the Padres. Rockies are pulling up the rear, 19-32. But honestly, even at minus 55 run differential, that's a major improvement. Sneaky good lately, Diamondbacks. Let's not forget about the Diamondbacks. Sneaky good lately, getting really good contributions from Nolan Arenado. Ketel Marte has caught fire. And Eduardo Rodriguez, who I want to dig in on today as well, has been really, really strong of late. Merrill Kelly started to right the ship. So they have some good things happening for them. I mean, of course, they need a lot of these things to happen to win. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. So let's hop into the chat, and then we will starting to watch. Well, then we will start to watch some players play baseball. I see there's good debate already in the chat about that poll, that manager poll. That's a tough question. I was this close to picking Tito Francona, and I ended up picking Dave Roberts on Discord. And it's mainly because I think, to Dave's credit, he's become a very, very good modern manager of blending the feel and the analytics. And I've tangibly seen him improve. I've seen him stink for a bit and then actually be self-aware and improve, whereas Tito was an unbelievable manager, Hall of Famer, unquestioned, 2 great runs in 2 big franchises, broke the curse, all that. But I just feel like if I want it right now, I'd rather the younger mind, over the OG. And I think it's pretty tight, and that says a lot about what I think of Dave Roberts, because for a while I wouldn't put many people over Tito. All right, who's up here next? How do I feel about Colt Emerson's first hit? So I hit the homer. It's wild watching the Yankees fans and media so upset and dooming with a 30-21 record. Yeah, it's always what have you done for me lately, especially in New York. And the Yankees have not played great lately. I know that this wasn't a total brutal series versus the Blue Jays. They won 2, but they dropped the last 2, and now they got the Rays. Not a lot of optimism. Obviously, they do have some pitching coming back. I thought Carlos Rodon looked better yesterday. Garrett's back, so there's reasons for positivity. But unless the Yankees are like submitting their dominating the opponent, people are going to worry a little bit. Plus, you see the narrative that they haven't beaten any good teams, and honestly, statistically, it's not incorrect. I think Dave Roberts would vote for Tito. Yeah, he would. I mean, he played for Tito, of course. So I don't know. It's pretty tough. I think I just want the younger brain, but I think it's a tough one. If the Yankees get Skubal, that's going to be the best rotation with Cole, Skubal, Schlittler, and Fried. I don't see the Yankees trading for Skubal. I mean, I don't know what they would have to give up. But that would be quite the development if all of a sudden, you're right, if they did have those names. I mean, can you imagine? All right, anyway, we're done with that. We'll hop into the main. And we'll get cracking. Who deserves the first watch today? That's the question. I think it's Ashcraft. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This guy's been a sneaky stud for the Pirates. Sneaky stud. Like, they have a couple guys that have been throwing the ball really well. This guy flies way under the radar. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts yesterday versus the Cardinals, 98 pitches. Got clipped for 1 homer. It looks like it's Ivan Herrera. This is what the numbers look like on the season. Can I interest you in a lot of red? Yeah, I thought so. 62 and a third innings, 1.03 whip. Not to mention Jared Jones is about to come back. So they're going to have some good options in the rotation. This is a dogfight in the NL Central this year, but want to show a little love to Mr. Ashcraft, 26 years old, 6'5", pretty good lettuce on him with that hair. Above average in everything except for exit velo, but I guess that probably ties in with his ground ball rate a little bit. And, really, it's not very fluky. He was pretty dominant last year in 69 and 2/3. He had a 2.71 ERA, mixing between starting and relieving. So every time we've seen him in the big leagues, he's been quality guy. Quality guy, for sure. So let's see how he did it. Pitch breakdown. 33 sliders was his primary pitch. 29 four-seamers, averaging 97.4. It's tremendous gasoline. They have some hard throwers on the Pirates. 22 curveballs, so it's a breaking ball and four-seam attack mainly, and then he'll mix in some sinkers, 11 sinkers and 3 splits. Velocity's really good. I mean, he's over 97. It's funny because it kind of blends in now with what you see out there in terms of velocity, but it's special velo. He threw 74% first pitch strikes. He's been great in that department, I feel like, all year. Just looking at his spin a little bit, he's not like a super duper high, but he's not a super duper low either. So he's got some spin capacity in there. He can do a lot of things physically very, very well. Very, very impressive. So let's just watch it. Cardinals and Pirates. And here we go. Ashcraft deserved the first watch today. He did. He just did. All right, here we go. JJ Weatherholt. So he strikes out the side in the first. So we'll watch all the pitches in the first, and then we'll probably go from result pitches from there. Starts the game with a 96-6 up and away heater. Curveball down, back door. And now 92-mile-an-hour slider. That's his primary pitch. It's a very firm gyro slider. Uses it below zone a lot. Curveball he tries to drop in there. That's a nice one, too. That's 3,000 RPM. So maybe I mentioned that he didn't have exceptional spin. Maybe I'm underselling. 3,000 RPM on this curveball, and it's 84. This is a freaking banger to Weatherholt here. And he's over that. Back to another curveball. This one at 86. So, yeah, breaking stuff is definitely his jam. That might have been a strike. That was a strike. But even the catcher, this ball plummeted so hard that he wasn't able to kind of come up on it. He just catches it low. Has no awareness that that was actually a strike. But now he goes to the gyro, 92-6, and gets the chase below the zone. So, he's generating a lot of chase. He's another guy who's pretty good at pitching downhill. Now, the arm slot's not as high as like a Yasavage or a Cease or a lot of guys we've been watching, but he does have an ability to get on top of the ball and over the ball and throw some chase pitches below the zone. So that's what you see there for the first strikeout. Next up, Ivan Herrera. I'll start him with the slider. Paints it on the corner. Nice pitch, nice catch. Double up on that. Pulls it a little bit off the corner, and now they're going to go to that screaming four-seamer at 97.4, and he tickles the edge of that too. Man, that's absolute paint. So 1-2 count, everything away. And now a called strike 3 on another ball. This one trends down in. So not sure what Herrera was looking for there. This is actually kind of a weird misfire overthrow by Ashcraft, but I mean, it ends up running back into the zone for a freeze. And that's 2 batters, 2 strikeouts. And then he'll complete the trifecta here in the first. There's a sinker. Really good shape on that sinker, too, I should mention. He's got good shape on both fastballs. Pretty unique thing to have going for you. I've only seen a few guys that have great shape on both. There's that curveball. Losing Rhino Hearn until mid-June is going to hurt the Bucks. No doubt. I feel like their offense has improved so much with the additions of Lau, I should say, and O'Hearn. And then another curveball for a freeze. So decimates the side in the first. His club had gone out and given him a run in the top half of the inning. He comes out with a shutdown inning and literally a statement inning in the first with 3 straight strikeouts. And you see the breaking ball quality is really, really good. And he's got velocity. This is a nasty dude. You can see why he was maybe projected as a reliever a little bit more, right? Initially, like really hard four-seamer, good breaking balls. But there's more than that in there, obviously, based on the results. All right, second inning, so let's start. Tarps are already off in St. Louis. This has become a thing every day. I mean, obviously, Ollie Marmol did a good job kind of celebrating this fan behavior, and now it's sweeping the nation. I saw it at the Trop the other day. But just a bunch of dudes being dudes out there, shirts off. I don't know what's the deal. Maybe we need some vitamin D. I don't know, but they're going to be swinging it around. I see some girls in there, obviously, thankfully, no shirts off there. But anyway, tarps off, whatever you want to call it. All right, he's going to get Jordan Walker out here on a slider. Gets him to pull off that away slider, chop it over to Connor. One out there. Did it start in Colorado? I thought it started in St. Louis. All right, in play out to Nolan Gorman, 98.6 on the inner third. Can of corn. And then a walk here to Mason Wynn. Tarps off is how dudes are fighting male loneliness now. Yeah, kind of. All right, in play, no out on a 2-0 sinker here to Fermin. He's going to hammer one through the hole, so he gets himself in a little bit of 2 out. trouble with a walk, and then poor fundamentals falls behind to Fermin, and he's going to have to dig out of that. This is going to be an let's watch this whole at bat. 3-pitch out. Curveball for a strike.
Swing and a miss.
For the fields with domes, does the park factor change with it open and closed? It probably should. It probably should if the ball flies, but I've never seen anything broken down that way. I mean, I don't know if it is or isn't. That's a good question, though. Not sure about that. I want to jump in on this question here. Brian, have you ever heard of a pitcher who would use a fingernail and work on spreading the seams on a ball? Yeah. I mean, shit, I used to watch LaTroy Hawkins kind of like try to dig in with his thumb on the seam to see how much give the ball had and if he couldn't raise one of the seams to hook his finger in there for throws. So I used to see somebody doing that. Used to see people kind of trying to break it in with their fingers. All right, on to the third inning. Leadoff batter Victor Scott. Fastball down and away. Lazy fly ball to center. O'Neill Cruz is there. One out there. Next batter up is a 3-pitch strikeout of Weatherholt. Let's actually watch the whole at-bat. Start him with the split. We haven't seen this one yet. Drops it in there, top of the zone for a strike. A lot of good things happen when you throw a bad pitch and get away with it 0-0. I'll tell you that, because then it's like you haven't really showed them anything good yet. Slider in on the hands and 4-seam right down the middle. I mean, that's kind of a crazy take, but obviously looking for something else. Hunting a breaking ball, expecting a breaking ball, something. And he punches his ticket for the second out, and then here's the home run. Here's the one run of the game. Ivan Herrera, who's a very good hitter, just ambushes him on a slider. It's actually a good location. So nothing wrong with that. If you're a pitcher, you just tip your cap to the batter. Pretty good plate coverage to be able to hit a down and away pitch, 108.7 in the pull side gap. Right there. That's a great swing. I'm not going to lie. Great plate coverage. The dive and hook approach. It does work. It leaves you exposed to a lot of other things, but in the big leagues, you're going to get a lot of breaking stuff down and away from you. So there's the one run, and then he comes right back to face Burleson. Burleson's also going to get a hit on a sinker, spraying it the other way. Burleson's a good player. Very underrated player. Really good hitter. Tough out. Tough guy to face. Big asset, I think, for the Cardinals. But then he does bounce back with a strikeout of Jordan Walker. 99-mile-an-hour sinker. I actually want to watch this whole at-bat because he just goes home run, double, and now he's facing Jordan Walker. Let's see how he attacks. Sinker down, chopped foul. A lot of movement on that sinker, not for nothing. A lot of sinker. Slider down and away in the dirt. When was I the future? I don't know.
1-2 count.
Slider high, popped up. That was probably the pitch to hit for Jordan Walker. He doesn't hit it, and then this is a really nasty sinker for the strikeout. Gets below the barrel to end the third inning. Still pumping upper 90s. All right, fourth inning, 3-pitch strikeout of Gorman started off. Slider up and in. That one kind of played like a dead zone cutter. Kind of tried to pull his hands in, couldn't do it fast enough. So, you know, he's got really good stuff. I wonder where his stuff ranks in the league. You got to imagine it's pretty high up there, given the combination of shapes he's got, velocity, really all of that. Why would you challenge a 3-0? This is just an emotional challenge by Ashcraft. Why would you challenge 3-0 here? You're telling me you're that positive, and then you end up being wrong. Crazy. So that was a little bit of a humbling moment, right? Mason Wynn draws the walk. All right, man on first, and here's Fermin. And they're going to get the tapper back to him. He'll just take the one out. So we'll have a man on second and 2 outs. Let's watch this whole at-bat versus Pedro Pages. 4-seam away ball. Future of baseball live streaming, yeah. There you go. How was it playing at Coors? I loved it. I love Coors Field. I mean, yeah, it's a challenge and everything, but I love it. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, 3-0 bases empty. I was just an emotional challenge and an angry challenge, but now he cost his team the challenge. But whatever. I did see this one. Marcus Semien challenged on the bunt, and it was completely in the zone. No bueno. All right, so it all leads to a 2-2 slider here to Pages. Gets it below the zone, and he's got a lot of speed on that slider. I mean, 93, 94, that's approaching outlier territory in terms of velocity on a slider. All right, 5th inning. Victor Scott got him out with a four-seam away last time. This time, four-seam at the top. This is a good way to pitch Victor Scott. Not a lot of power. Get him to hit a fly ball. Think he'll be all right. And 3-2. Long at bat here with Weatherholt. And then he gets him on the fastball in. Interesting. JJ caught fire a little while ago. I don't think he's hot right now. But I remember when I did the video, he has this move where he really dives in and he almost cuts himself off of the inner part of the zone. Now, this was a perfectly located pitch, but I was curious if he had stopped that or not. And it does look like that's still his move. Like he wants to kind of dive in and take away the outer third. So anyway, jams him with that fastball. All right, called strike 1-2. 97 up and away. They go for the challenge, but this ball had a little bit of tail back, 12.3. And Henry made it look good, but Yvonne didn't agree. But check this out. This ball's going to shave the edge. Wow. Damn, look at that. So, very good freeze. I want to watch that in real time. In real time, I thought this was definitely going to be a ball. And then look at it just kind of check back to the corner. Amazing. So that ends the 5th. Still pumping 97. 6th inning. Strikeout of Burleson. Slider in the dirt? Man, not even. Down in. Gets him to swing right over the top of it. That was filthy. And then a 1-pitch out, Jordan Walker on slider. Jordan Walker got a few sliders in the middle to hit and didn't hit him. I think he gets more margin for error because of that velo. Oh my God, the Willie Mays catch from Spencer Horwitz. The under... Look at that, the little basket grab. God, that makes me nervous. Good play, though. And called strike 3 on Gorman to end the 6th. Fastball away, still throwing 97. He's really holding his velocity well. This guy's filthy. All right, 7th inning. Mason Wynn. Slider. Slider seems to be a pretty big ground ball pitch versus the righties as well. I've seen a lot of weak grounders chopped in the ground off against the Ashcraft slider. Went out there, Mason Wynn. Next up, Fermin. Still throwing 97. Gets in on those hands, pops it up right to Connor. 2 outs in the 7th. Now he's going to give up a 2-out hit to Pages here. Another good slider down. Another weak contact, but floats it in there. And then he'll finish his outing with another Victor Scott out. Let's see if he gets him in the air again. He does. That was actually a pretty good swing. But again, you get Victor Scott to hit a fly ball, you're usually in good shape. 102 on the fly out. I want to watch Ashcraft's delivery a little bit from the side. I'm trying to think who he reminds me of. A little bit of a Hunter Brown initial leg kick. Different come down, though. Way different. Very standard through here. I mean, it's pretty normal. It's pretty, just pretty traditionally really beautiful follow through, but there's something about this move with the hands going up. Maybe a little Louis Varland with the initial pump of the hands. Yeah, maybe a little bit of Louis Varland in there. Let's check him from first base side. I like the Clay Buchholz comment on the pump. Clay did the pump of the hands as well. That's a good one. I like that. All right, one more slow-mo of this. But I've been impressed with him. The numbers don't lie. He's off to a great start again. And, you know, you got to think, this guy's stuff is, got to be up there. I'm curious on the leaderboard, the Stuff Plus leaderboard on baseball, on Fangraphs at least. where he might rank. So let's see. All right, Stuff Plus among starters. I'm blindly going in here. Yeah, he's 26th. 103 Stuff Plus among starters, right tied with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. It's kind of funny to look at some of these. But individual pitches, it actually doesn't have a lot being plus, which is interesting to see because to me it looks pretty good. It has the curveball being a $127 pitch. So in terms of Stuff Plus curveballs, has him having the third best one among starters in the big leagues. 127 Stuff Plus on the curveball, actually a tick ahead of Nolan McLean, if you can believe it, and a little bit behind Clay Holmes and The Miz. This is fun to look at while we're here. This is just among starters. We'll just go by pitch, what the Fangraphs model has, the Eno Saris model. For four-seam fastball, Jacob Mizorowski, 10 points ahead of Yuri Perez, 12 ahead of Cam Schlittler at the top of this list for four-seamers. Miz, Perez, Schlittler, Cease, Warren, Ryan, Severino, Wu, Burke, and Landon Roop are the top 10. As for sinkers, Chris Sale, $125, George Kirby, Christopher Sanchez, Dustin May, Yuri Perez round out the top 5. Cam Schlittler's also right there at 6th. As for cutters, Tanner Bybee leading the way, Cam Schlittler again at number 2, Sandy Alcantara number 3. Let's see, this is Splitter, Logan Gilbert, 142 ranking, Foster Griffin, Matthew Liberatore. Slider, Chris Sale, number 1, Framber Valdez, Yuri Perez, Emerson Hancock, Chase Burns, which I would have thought would have been number 1, honestly. Rounding out the top 5, DeGrom sneaks in there at 11, I see, and then curveball, we just saw that. Holmes, Miz, Ashcraft, McLean, Skeens. Changeups, Michael Wacha, Christopher Sanchez, that sounds right. Bybee, Gilbert, Martinez, okay. Do we have knuckle curves? Aaron Nola, Joe Ryan, George Kirby. Who's got number 1 location plus? Paul Skeens, Jacob DeGrom, George Kirby. It's starting to feel real. Starting to feel like these metrics are a little bit better. So, I don't know. Pretty interesting to look at that. And Mr. Ashcraft. You look at the game logs. He's also been very, very consistent this year. I'm not ready to add him into the very, very steep NL Cy Young Award race, but he is off to a hot start. You just look at the consistency of these starts over the year: 6-2, 6-2, 6-1, 5-1, 5 2/3 and 2, 7-2. Then here's a semi-clunker, 4 1/3 and 6. Then right back, 7 2/3, 0, 7-1, 6 2/3, 4. But to me, that's what aces do. If you go that deep and you give up 4, it's okay. And then 7-1 this time. So he's been really, really good. He's got a sub-1 whip in May. Seems like he's actually improving as the season is going. So pretty cool. Also from this game, another inside the park home run. I don't know what to make of this. Seems like there's been a ton of these for some reason. This year, I mean, at least 5 already, and that's just bizarre. This ball bounces off the top of the wall, ricochets. There's nobody anywhere near him. Brandon Lau can just coast into home. You don't see a lot of coast into home inside the Parkers. I mean, they can't even throw it to the plate. Check it out on the high home. Victor Scott would be your backup option out here in left. But it's so far down the line, he's not moving. He's starting to slowly drift his way over here. And then he starts to take off. But it's just a little bit too late. But I don't know if you would blame him or not. I mean, he's almost never going to come into contact with the ball that's that far down the line. And Brandon Lau is able to literally jog home with an inside the park home run. So I thought that was weird. I don't have any theory on it. Just seems to be the randomness of baseball is kind of why we're seeing some of those so far this year. Do I think Parker Messick is a Cy Young dark horse? No, I don't see him being able to do it for the whole year. I mean, shit, he's off to a great start, and the American League race isn't quite what the National League race is yet, but I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if Parker Messick was ready to make that kind of season, a reality. All right, what else we got? K minus walk is better than any stuff plus stat. I mean, look, I'm agree with you. I'm telling you, like I like to evaluate on what the hitters are telling us, what the competition's telling us a little bit about the quality of the pitcher. But teams don't do that as much. They just look at the stuff and they project forward, saying this should work, this shouldn't work, blah blah blah. Not as much evaluation, a lot more projection. So, whatever. All right. I am a baseball card nerd. I had an Ashcraft 77 of 77 of him. I sold it on Whatnot stream a month ago. Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever become like a famous player, but he's clearly a very good pitcher. And I know that the card market's a little bit more based off of like fame and accolades and hype. And I don't know. I guess eventually if you develop into like a truly like a legend, you have to become a legend. I don't know if he'll be like that so far. Ashcraft has been doing his lunges. He doesn't lean into his back hip a lot. Doesn't seem like he uses gravity enough considering he's 6'5". They don't, so the tipping into the back hip, and then getting your hips offline doesn't set you up for a really clean rotation. I always did feel like a little bit of a tipping and then tipping forward. To your point here, Jerry, Jersey Jones does kind of help you create a little bit more of that finish on the pitch, but biomechanics basically say if you don't get your hips square, you can't rotate cleanly, you can't transfer enough power, so I don't know. I don't know. What else we got here? Hey, ever been up the arch in St. Louis? Yes, one time. Felt a little claustrophobic in that weird elevator they have that goes kind of like up to the side in the arch. Felt a little, just not great. Weatherhold cooled off. Gotcha. Pitchers never challenge if I'm a manager, too invested and not realistic. I'm with you. I wouldn't do it either. You don't see 3 inside the park home runs an entire season anymore. These guys should be trying to run them out. It's great to see the athleticism. He just had so much time. He was just like, I'm just going to take it to the house, Would you have preferred the fielder play the ball off the wall going in, or are you okay with the fielder's commitment to the catch attempt? No, I think in that spot, I mean, it's borderline home run. I mean, you go try to rob it. Plus, there's nobody on base. There's no reason to hedge with a safety, back up and play it off the wall. You try to make the play. I think that's a good effort there. All right. You think they will demote Bubba Chandler, once Jones is ready? I don't know. I mean, I'm not dialed in on the Pirates, day-to-day happenings. But maybe. I know he's been struggling. Spencer Miles. All right. Spencer Miles is probably next, right? He did a good job for the Jays. I do feel like, look, great bullpen performance by the Jays yesterday. They rolled out this group of pitchers and it completely shut down the Yankees. Braden Fisher set the tone, striking out all 4 outs he got at the beginning of the game. Adam Macko, who's a new pitcher for the Jays, came up and did a good job. Then we're going to watch Spencer Miles right now because he's been pitching really well as a rookie, so I have to dig in. Tyler Rogers had a pretty easy inning, including a double play off the bat of Judge, and then Hoffman with the 2 strikeouts to end the game. But Mr. Spencer Miles, this is the rookie season, drafted in the 4th round of 2022 by the Giants. He's out of Mizzou. He's been really, really good so far for the Jays in a interesting hybrid role, pitching multi-innings. 14 innings, 1 start, 29 innings, 29 strikeouts, 1.03 whip, 2.17 ERA. The man gives up no hard contact. He's 98th percentile in average exit velo. He throws 96. He's got some pretty good breaking stuff, in my opinion. Let's go see what we're looking at in terms of whiff rates. 3 pitches in the 20% whiff rate range. 4-seam curveball and sinker. He's getting a ton of run value out of the sinker so far. So the sinker has been, I guess, his dominant pitch. Positive 7 run value, 4.3 RV per 100 is nuts. 152 average, 152 slug. That's a 211 WOBA. That's worm burning ground balls. So let's get into this game a little bit. Yankees and Jays from last night. Got to give credit to the Blue Jays pitching staff for shutting them down. Although I will say the Yankees Lineup right now, not looking very good in my opinion. So first batter he gets is with 2 outs in the third. He gets Judge. Sinker up and away, 97.5. Pretty cool to see a rookie come in and have such a positive impact, and they've needed a guy to step up, considering the injuries they've had. So sinker, then sinker in. That's a perfect pitch to Judge. Man, look at that. Look at how that ties him up. That's nasty. That's devastatingly nasty. 1-2, slider. Judge is in a slump, by the way, but like that's the pitch he needs to hit. Like to me, that's the indicator. This is a mistake, and he doesn't connect on that. And then, you know, it's baseball. If you don't connect on the hittable pitches, then they're going to throw you better pitches. And you're going to have missed the boat. Like that one, you don't want to hit that one. That's down and away off the corner. He has to reach and roll. And it's a roll over to short. 1 out there. Next batter up. 1 pitch out to Bellinger. First pitch curveball, get me over. Kind of handcuffs him. You would have thought that would have floated in there, but Ernie does a good job going back on that. And now there's Garrett. He'll be on the mound today. Our day started today with my wife sending a group chat to his family and my family with a bunch of gifs of let's go and all sorts of fire up techniques. So we're excited for him. All right, curveball down to Jazz. Jazz had it's funny because I thought Jazz had a great night 2 nights ago. Looked really locked in at the plate, and then last night he goes 0 for 4, 4 strikeout, golden sombrero. Talk about an empty at-bat right here. Let's watch this whole at-bat because this is so empty. First pitch sinker, up middle, huge hack, comes unglued on it, but he's under the sinker, so he's clearly late. Then curveball.
He is mentally, the anxiousness of getting back out there.
That's where he would want it. If you could almost design a pitch in a lab for Jazz to hit, it would be this one. Bottom of the zone. Now, granted, he's got a good breaking ball. I mean, this pitch is pretty snappy, 2,900 RPM, a lot of movement. But that's the one you want to swing at. And certainly you don't want to swing at this pitch. So pretty empty at bat from Jazz. Pretty empty day at the plate from Jazz, which is disappointing because I thought he looked great the other night. Next up, Paul Goldschmidt. Slider gets the call. It's a good catch by Valenzuela, who, now that I've watched him more, man, what a luxury for the Jays to have a backup to the backup who's this good. Defensively, he can bunt. He's a switch hitter. He presents a little bit of matchup issues. So he's really good. There's that sinker in on the righty. This has been Miles' calling card on the year. It's ground ball, jamming guys with sinkers. 98 in. Goldie can't do much with that. Chops it over to Okamoto, who's also looking pretty bad right now. So, well, it's a whole nother story. Next inning, Spencer Jones, who's now in AAA. 4-seam up, can't get to that. You can expect to see a lot of that for a while. Judge looks to be in between the last couple weeks, showing a hesitancy to commit to swing decisions. Yeah, he's off. He's not seeing it great. He's not seeing it great. I mean, I know it's going to flip fast, but yeah, he had some very empty at-bats the last 3 games that I watched. Miles threw 14 2/3 inning pitch from 22 to 25 in all of minor league baseball. That is a long time to not pitch a lot, so pretty cool that he was able to get past that. And then hanging slider, I mentioned you don't get a lot of pitches to hit. This is the type of pitch that Spencer Jones wants. It's a little spinner in the middle, and he does hammer this up the middle with a little bit of odd topspin on it. But I was waiting for him to connect on one. That was a pretty good swing. So leadoff guy on in the 5th. Next up, Ryan McMahon. First pitch curveball, pretty good pass at that, but straightaway center, doesn't get enough on it, and it's a quick out for the next out. That's going to bring up Volpe. He's going to go double play hunting here. Sinker's in. Sinker in, chopped foul. Sinker in again. That was the pitch to hit. Got to hit that one. Doesn't hit it, and now he's got a devastating breaking ball to pair off those 2 sinkers. Yep, and wipes him out. And Jones does steal second, but you can see why this curveball works, even though, like, in a bubble, it's like in the zone, you know, or whatever. It's just like he rushed him in so hard with 2 straight sinkers that then when this curveball comes, he's just so early. So devastating pitch there for the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Escara. So this was actually a sneaky big at-bat in the game because the Yankees didn't really get many opportunities and ended up losing this game, 2-0. So this was a big moment. 2-0 count. There's the hittable sinker. Pulls it foul.
You want to be loyal to players.
Slider off that.
So
That's a
you've
good take,
got
3-1. But then he gets back in the count with a very good 3-1 curveball. This is a big league ability. If you can't command a pitch like a curveball in a 3-1 count, backdoor to a lefty at a big spot, it's going to be hard to wiggle out of situations. So this is a big league moment for Spencer Miles. Boop. And then 2 outs. He's going to punch him on that next curveball. Proves that he can throw it for a strike, and then comes back with one at that up and away location that it's really hard to swing at because when it pops, it's going above the zone. So you see some hesitation, and then he's on under it, and he pitches through that little bit of traffic in the 5th. Comes back out for the 6th. Ben Rice. First pitch, sinker strike. Great call by the umpire considering how that ball was received. And then a slider. Ben Rice this time gets through it, lifts it over Ernie into right. So back-to-back innings, leadoff man on. Doesn't phase him. He'll go double play hunting on Judge here. Slider away ball. Slider away strike. That ball, I believe, is dotted. Yep, perfect pitch. 1-1. So away. Now they're going to come sinker in, looking to get the chopper. Gets it in and beats him. Perfect pitch. Great sequence. Away, slow. Right? Away, and then ram you in with the sinker. Nice pitch there. 4-seam up, trying to get above the barrel. Stays in the safe zone. And then he can run the curveball off of that line. And honestly, this is a pitch that if Judge is hot, he probably does more with it, but it's off the plate in, and he ends up popping it up, so easy play there. Next up, Cody Bellinger. Sinker up and in, ball 1. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Curveball back door. Curveball again. 3-0 count. So we talked about it. I was with Todd Frazier last night. Right before this pitch, it's like, do you green light him? Haven't really been getting many pitches to hit the last 2 nights. Need to create some offense. Got a guy who can swing at 3-0. We both said, yes, he should swing here. But also, they probably won't give him the green light. They didn't. Ends up taking the most hittable pitch of the at-bat right down the middle. And then you can see how he's able to wiggle after that because now it's a front door sinker to get to 3-2. Does end up walking him. But I did think there was a little bit of a swinging opportunity there, 3-0. That did bring up Jazz, and I mentioned Jazz has been scuffling. 3-pitch strikeout here. Curveball chase of that. Curveball for a take. So the ones he should swing at are he's taking, and the ones he shouldn't he's swinging at. And it's a triple curveball strikeout here. So another very empty at-bat from Jazz. Great pitching by Miles. 2 outs there. And then Goldie. Sinker in on the hands. Good pitch. Slider coming off of that. Sinker back in. Really commanding that sinker in very well. Not missing over the middle. And then curveball's a totally opposite. This was also a great play by Okamoto. 1 hopper, that's the key. Running out of play. Because this was kind of one of their last moments. They didn't know it yet, but this is one of their last moments of opportunity. Great play by Oko. Very calm. Throws the 1 hopper over there. Vlad takes care of the rest with a nice stretch. All right, we're on to the 7th inning. Spencer Jones. 4-seam up. Fouled away. 4-seam up again. Too high. 4-seam up again. Too high. Now sinker. This could be a dangerous pitch to Jones. And it is. Very dangerous. See, again, you got to hit that. That's the pitch. But I also admit it's pretty hard to do when you've seen 3 4-seamers in a row. And then that sinker shape is just different for you. So he's off the end of there. 4-seam up again. Too high. Curveball.
And the payoff.
Got to hit that one. That's middle. 4-seam up again. Late on that. And then he's going to finally get him out here with a sinker here. Good swing by Spencer. Off the end, though. 97-4. Having a hard time covering that sinker shape. And now we're back to McMahon.
Double off the left field wall in the 2nd.
Backdoor strike. Four seam coming here. This is just a very impressive outing. This was a huge game for Toronto to, earn the split. You're coming in out of the pen. The lineup is all left-handed, pretty much optimized against you. This is a team that will usually grind you out for walks. There's power threats everywhere throughout the lineup. But he had no problem navigating this lineup. Took them all the way to the 8th inning and set them up for success. So just wanted to shout out Miles. I think this is the biggest key, is he's been controlling that inner third to the righties with the sinker. He's been everywhere from up in, all over this inner third corner. Like, he's not missing this area at all when he's coming in on guys. And those are really tough pitches to handle, particularly with his velocity and the fact that he can throw breaking balls after that window right off that. See, there's another one. Forces Anthony to get jammed. Now he goes curveball off of that. It's an opposite movement, opposite speed. Almost freezes him. And then gets the chase here for the slider strikeout. So that's just a master class. He pitched really, really well. I think the command of the fastball, particularly the sinker with the righties, was kind of the key there. But big-time performance from Spencer Miles. Does draw the split. And listen, with all the injuries the Jays have had, they needed this guy to really, really step up. And he has. Incredible plug into the pitching staff for the Jays this year. Spencer Miles, 25 years old. Apparently bats left-handed, throws right-handed. So love that. All right, solo shot. What do we got here in the chat? I did see that. Ascara had a brutal ABS challenge while catching to waste their last one. Would have wanted that for... Yes, Ascara had some tough ABS challenges. I've seen a lot of emotional challenges the last couple of days. For whatever that's worth. Miles having Tommy John and back surgery, coming in like he did, is kind of impressive. It's not kind of impressive. It's very impressive. He's been really, really good. At this point, once Kirk comes back, I'd rather see Valenzuela get the backup catcher role over Heineman. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, check out Mr. Valenzuela defensive stats right now. Look at that. 99th percentile in caught stealings. 96th percentile in framing. Can I interest you in that? I'd say yes. Not to mention, 707 OPS is not horrible. That's very playable for a backup catcher. So, yeah, I think if I'm, Brandon Valenzuela, I'm not thinking I should be going down at all. I really, really don't think so. Fielding run value by catcher, he's already up there. Already number one in the big leagues right now, fielding run value, and he didn't start the season playing every day. So, great comment here by On the Bump Baseball. I think I totally agree with you. Heineman also in this list, 5 fielding runs above, but I think Heineman's not as good of a hitter as Valenzuela. So let's see. Here's Heineman's page. Once this loads, we'll see what Heine's looking like. On the offensive side, he's a 0. 227 career, 605 OPS. This year is a 325 OPS. Wow. But also very good defensively. So they have some good problems to have. In that they have 3 really good defensive catchers. I think nobody would contest that Kirk is the man. But Valenzuela, he's made a good argument, I think, to be in there potentially over Heineman. We'll see. I don't know. He's definitely earned some thinking on that. All right, let me get back in the chat. Miles mentioned last night that he's getting so much valuable insight from guys like Cease and Gosman, just watching and learning. That's what you got to do. Got to be a sponge. Got to learn. A lot of good resources around you. A lot of good guys who have had success. Dylan Cease got a very big wallet because he knows what he's talking about, and he's got good stuff. So, yeah, talk to your teammates, learn from them. You're not going to be able to copy everything that they say and paste it, but at the same time, success does leave clues. So you got to watch that out. Has Volpe consistently had the same level of leg lift and pre-swing? Just seems like a lot of movement, and one would think it could have an effect on his eye level tracking. I don't know. First couple games, he showed good eye at the plate. Thought he got pitched tough the last few. It's not going to be enough sample, and I'm pretty sure Caballero is going to play every day now. Volpe stays up, so he'll get some action out there. Definitely some pinch running action. We'll see how it all plays out, but I think Caballero is going to be getting the ABs. So it's hard to say. I also don't think Uncle Ted's asking about George Springer. I don't think much is wrong with George. I actually think he's starting to look better at the plate. a little bit. We saw a home run yesterday off of Doval, hanging slider. In general, I like some of what I'm seeing from George, but it hasn't clicked yet. All right, what else we got? I think Jones just got to fix his time because he's either late on a four-seam or early on a breaking ball. Yeah, I mean, he's swinging so hard. I don't want to take that away from him. But again, it's all about contact with him. It's all about finding a way to put more balls in play given how hard he hits it. I think Jones is going to be an interesting guy to watch. If he ever hits that ceiling, there's going to be a whole timeline, like a whole montage of different things that he's tried before something clicked. And hopefully something clicks sooner rather than later that allows him to compete at the highest level versus the velocity and everything. Tyler Rogers threw 0 balls in the strike zone and got a scoreless inning. Wow. It's nice throwing underhand. I'll tell you that. They're 100% going to go with Valenzuela. Heineman really isn't close offensively to MLB caliber, and Valenzuela is better defensively. So they're both good. They're both good. But I think Valenzuela has been very impressive this last little run. Here's a funny question. Who has the better mustache, Tolle or Cease? I don't know. It fits Tolle's face better, but Cease's is longer, if you want to count that. Demoting Jones on a home game stretch is wild. Well, I mean, at this, they don't think he's going to get consistent at bats, so that's what Arizona's saying here is the big thing. Did River Ryan already get watched? I miss it. No, we'll do that now. I know we're starting off with 3 straight pitchers, and this one's in AAA, River Ryan. But I want to log back in real quick to my thing here, and we can watch River Ryan. He pitched down there in Oklahoma City last night. He was #1 coffee cup guy in terms of the prospect, top 100 prospects for minor league pitchers. So let's see how that game went. That was Oklahoma City, right? And Reno plays. There is River Ryan. Let's check the box score real quick to see what we're about to watch. River Ryan, minor league. We're watching some minor league ball, guys. 5 innings, 2 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts, 18 batters faced. I'm going to do just the result pitches because it's really hard on the research tool to click through the pitches quickly. They made it hard. But we'll check it out. We'll get a little bit of a sense of what he's getting guys out with, as we go along here. So, River Ryan coming up. I see there's some good questions in here in the chat, but I think I'm a little bit committed to doing this right now. Okay, River Ryan, let me... Dunkin' Donuts coming to Canada. That's a direct threat to Timmy Hose, no? All right, I digress. River Ryan, big Dodger prospect. A lot of Dodger fans calling for him to get a chance, and he starts off this AAA start with a strikeout on 99.6 to Christian Robinson. Up and away, absolute cheddar cheese fastball from River Ryan. I need to do a little more research on Mr. Ryan and his background and everything. That is an absolute gasoline fastball. 2,600 RPM on that, 6.5 extension, so that's a little bit above average. God, I wish we could get more metrics on that. All right, so that's the first out on a strikeout. Here is the second out. This is going to be on a 94-mile-an-hour slider. So we just watched Ashcraft, and already I'm seeing some similarities in terms of velocity on these pitches with him and River Ryan. I mean, upper 90s fastball, low to mid 90s slider, also 2,600 RPM on that slider, beats him to the spot, rolls it over. And now he's going to give up a hit here to, what a name on this hitter, Lou James Groover, 92-mile-an-hour pitch. And Lou James is going to stay on that and poke it into right on that slider. So there's a base hit. 2,500 RPM on that slider. So 1 man on, 2 out. Then he's going to go ahead and hit Tyler Locklear in the hand. Shouldn't have been standing there. 96-mile-an-hour fastball off the hand. So 2 on, 2 out. Lucan Baker. Oh, I remember Lucan Baker, former Cardinal. 99-mile-an-hour fastball coming here to the big fella. up in the zone. Actually sends it for a decent little ride, but it just beat him just a little bit above the zone. Fly out to right field. I know that right fielder. Who's that right fielder? Who is that right fielder? Jack Sawinski. I knew that face. 99 mile an hour. So that's it for the first inning. Second inning, Jacob Amaya is the first batter. He's going to punch him out on 99 as well. So I've seen a bunch of 99 mile an hour heaters here in the early going, and it seems like it wants to play up in the zone. Not a very tall guy from what I'm seeing. And now here's a single, Christian Cerda. I can put the TJ stats breakdown from the game in the Discord. Yes, please do, because I'll glance that right after that. Yes, thanks, Showtime LA. Little bloop hit on a slider there, right? No, on a fastball. Little bloop hit. I missed that. I'm sorry. I have to replay that. I missed that. I missed this pitch. Kind of jams him, but he's able to float it in there ahead of the center fielder. So 1 on 1 out. That's going to bring up Jack Hurley. He's going to punch him out with 98-2. Ooh, down heater. Man, that ball is exploding out of his hand. Are you kidding me? That is gas. Absolute gas. All right, strikeout there. And then Andrew Velasquez, the squid. Going to get him with a curveball. 83-8, 2,900 RPM. Seeing a lot of Ashcraft similarities, although obviously it's a different delivery, different body. But just in the pure velo of the curveball, the spin of the curveball, spin of the slider, the velo on the heater. Dirty. So that's it for Velasquez. And then he's also going to punch out. Oh, no, this is Sawinski. That was how he ended the second. Third inning, Christian Robinson is going to fly out on a 83.7 mile an hour curveball. I like the shape on the curveball from what I'm seeing. So it's a fastball, curveball, slider attack so far from what I'm seeing. Fly out there. Anderson Rojas is up next. He'll ground out. Slider, broken bat. It's also like we've been talking about with Mizorowski a little bit. Like when your slider is 93, 94, even with slider shape, if it sometimes up in the zone, it's so fast that it kind of can play like a cutter. That's what you saw there, broken bat. And then Lou James Groover, this time he's going to get punched out with 99 to end the third. Fastball away, absolute gas. That's gas. Straight gas. So the man throws hard, no doubt about that. All right, fourth inning, Tyler Locklear is going to strike out on the gas, 97-6. That's Bayou. And Lucan Baker ground out to third on a sinker. So this is the first sinker I've seen. Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, running on those hands. Little chopper over to third. Easy play there. Everybody's doing it. The two fastballs. And then Jacob Amaya. So a 3 up, 3 down, fourth inning. Pretty good swing at that, but easy play out there in center. So clean fourth inning for River. And then the fifth inning, this will be his final inning. Strikeout on a 91 mile an hour slider. Actually, it's not a strikeout. It's a ground out. Rolls that over to third. Oof. Almost eats him up, but doesn't. Nice recovery for the out. Good throw. Jack Hurley is going to strike out. That's the strikeout I saw. This is on a changeup. Okay, strikeout on a changeup. Haven't seen this yet. Oh, that was nasty. Perfect location. Definitely a little bit of a traditional circle change. You can kind of see the grip in the glove as he raises it up, but that's really good fade. Gets him way out front for the punchy. And then I believe he finishes his outing next. Yeah, Andrew Velasquez, the squid, is going to ground out on this slider at 91. So, man, everything's hard. He's definitely going to have not definitely, but I think he's going to have a low release height due to his size. And he doesn't throw he's over the top, but it's nothing crazy, I don't think. So, definitely interesting guy to take a look at. Let me hop into that TJ Stuff summary for River Ryan. Here we go. River Ryan. 5 innings, 18 plate appearances, 2 hits, 7 Ks, no walks, 1 hit batter, 69% strikes, 14 whiffs. What's the arm angle? 37 degrees. Okay. And then here are the stuff grades on the individual pitches way down here. If you can see them. 112 TJ stuff grade on the 4-seam. That's a 15.6 IVB, 5.7 HB, negative 4.1 VAA. So yes, that's pretty flat. Slider, 117 stuff grade. So that's the best stuff grade he has. It generated 50% chase in this game. It's a gyro slider at 91.5, so it makes sense. Pretty good pitch. Sinker, 5.2 vert, 13.4 horizontal, so not a ton of run, but another option. 101 stuff grade. He's literally above average on every grade here. Cutter, which I didn't even see any of, 93.7. I don't love the shape on it, but 105. Curveball I like a lot. 108 stuff grade. A lot of total movement, a lot of spin, a lot of speed. And then the changeup that we just saw, 2.9 and 11.6. So that's pretty good to pair off the 4-seam. He's got a good mix of pitches, you know. Not that we don't see this anymore. We see this all the time now, it seems. But 27-year-old, 6'2", 195. That's why I think you're going to see that that release. See the release height even on the fastball, 5'7". So that fastball is going to play up in the zone pretty damn good, like what we just witnessed. You can see quite a bit here, but River Ryan, interesting guy. I want to see his Wikipedia. From Charlotte, born in 98, played at UNC Pembroke. Originally drafted by the Padres. And then he got traded to the Dodgers for Matt Beatty. And since then, he's been in the system. He also has the older brother, Ryder, who's also a player in the Dodgers organization. So that's a little bit about River Ryan. Just an interesting name. Ryder Ryan, River Ryan. Interesting little name there. All right. Thanks for having me watch that. That was kind of cool. Never really seen him that much. So I thought that was pretty fun. There's the TJ Stuff numbers if you were wondering. You mentioned Adam Macko earlier. He's the first MLB pitcher born in Slovakia. Jeez. That's insane. Schoolball bullpen yesterday, 35 pitches and up and down. Hit a velo he was happy with, would not reveal the mile per hour. Yeah, I saw that. I'm wondering if he's going to get traded, really. I do think there's a good possibility. I definitely feel like he's got a chance to, be an interesting trade piece because the Tigers are in bad shape. Bad shape. Bad shape. Have I seen Kyle hurt? I think we saw him one time in spring training and we thought it was interesting, but need to see him more at the top level. Is there anyone in the league that's more ridiculous hits than Ernie Clement? No, there's nobody. Ernie Clement is Mr. Weird Hit, but I'm here for it. I like it a lot. Very, very cool to watch Ernie do his thing out there and just slap it all around the field. Frankly, I think it's pretty cool. All right, who should we watch next? I haven't watched any hitters yet. I think it's gonna be Michael Harris. Yeah, Michael Harris, 2 for 5. I want to dig in on Mike a little bit. He did hit 2 home runs yesterday, mainly because this has been a long-time favorite of mine, a guy that I've pegged as a potential MVP guy in the future. His rookie year was so impressive up close, and I faced this guy. He took me bridge dead center one time on a crappy cutter. I don't know what I was thinking, but he's back playing good from the second half of last year. Right now, he's hitting 298, 324, 524, 848 OPS as usual. Outstanding defense in center. He's got a not even a quiet confidence, just like he knows how good he is type of thing. And it's just a matter of time until he puts together a really scary good season, 900 plus OPS or better, plus great defense, gets himself in the real conversations. I think he's that good. Much better hitter than Jason Hayward, in my opinion. Much better hitter than Jason Hayward. But I understand the comp. It's an easy comp to make. You know, local boys, Georgia boys, black dudes, outfielders. Like it's easy. But Michael Harris is a way better hitter than Jason Hayward, in my opinion. But all that being said, Jason Hayward had a nice career. Obviously, mostly driven by defense and like leadership qualities, just being an awesome dude. So anyway, here's Mike. He's already got 11 homers this year. Money Mike. I'm curious real quick before we watch him to see what the bat tracking differences are from on the aggregate just from last year to this year. I know he made a lot of adjustments mid-season last year with his stance set up. So I'm just curious how that pops up from 25 to 26. So the swing length has gotten longer. He's always had that very long, load, but he usually does it early enough that he's on time. I don't think they have the same type of swing at all. Jason Hayward's swing, I mean, not very aesthetically pleasing at all. He had like a hitch, whereas Harris's has like the move, but it's not a hitch. It's more smooth. So I don't know. I mean, I see what you guys are saying, but I don't know. I'm not quite there with it yet. All right, what else? Bat speed's going up a tick. Batting stance. So this is a big one. Distance between feet. So he's a little bit wider now than he had been the previous few years, and his stance is much more open, allowing him to perhaps see the ball pretty well. And then the bat path, everything looks the same on the bat path. Same tilt, same attack angle with a slightly more loft this year. Really nothing different, so I was curious to see that. All right, anyway, say all that to say, he hit 2 home runs yesterday. So that's the Braves and the Marlins, I believe, was yesterday, right? They played baseball. And Michael Harris clipped 2 home runs, one off Sandy, one off Fairbanks. Here's the first one off of Sandy.
And Acuna is not going to waste any time.
Slider back door.
Saw Joe Mack trying to throw.
Well, the Braves don't run a whole lot. They've only
change up, so gets himself to a 1-1 count.
He looked good getting down the line as the 1-1 to Harris is hit.
Fastball up, fouled off. Now he's in a 2-strike situation. Sweeper coming here from Sandy. Not sure why you would go sweeper after that high fastball that he was late on, but that's Marlins pitch calling for you. Popped foul and then change up. I mean, why? It's going to be a bad pitch. Yeah, he's dead on time for the changeup, and he laces that out to center. Great swing. He's got a great high finish. He gets through the ball really well. 110.5 at 18. I have to say, this pitch selection was just putrid pitch selection by the Marlins here. I can't even blame Sandy because I know it ain't him. But he couldn't be more on time for this pitch. That's pure backspin. Ball's hammered. Just line drive approach. That's the first home run. Good swing there. And then the second home run is going to be off Fairbanks. Another tough customer. But Michael's just as tough as any of them. Slider strike.
He's got a 5.33 ERA and 10 starts for the Marlins.
Yeah, I mean, zero feel. They're not even watching the game. It's insane. It drives me crazy when you see it in real time and you're like, it's so obvious what you need to throw, and then like they're not paying attention. So
that sounds like a private investigator. Do that.
All right, 1-2 count.
Here are the probables right.
4-seam fastball. Is he going to miss down with it? Let's see.
2-2.
Not even. Money Mike just gets him to the spot at the top of the zone. And another placata to center just past Jacob Marcy for the home run, 103.4 at 24. He has shown the ability at times to cover the top of the zone despite the long swing, and that's another reason why I've been high on him because I've seen him do this a few times. Man, great swing there. Great swing there. And this is part of the reason why the Braves are clicking. Olson's already off to an unbelievable start. Drake Baldwin, I know he got hurt, but he was off to an incredible start. He was the #1 catcher in baseball before his injury. And then Michael Harris, obviously the way Sale's been pitching. They have a lot going on for them in a really positive way. Plus, I love their bullpen. Suarez, Lee, Iglesias, those are some of my favorite guys. Now, I really want to check in on this guy, Strider, but let's just take a second because I'm done with Money Mike. And I want to see what you got in here. in the chat. Harris's chase rate has been a death sentence to his profile in the past. 100% facts. And I think you know, the more I watch, like, it's not just swing metrics, but it's also just like quickness to launch or how ready you are to hit the fastball, like how early you're loaded and that you can actually hang in that position does really help you make a swing decision a lot earlier because you know that you're primed to launch. If you take too long to get your launch going, then you have to make a swing decision earlier than you want to. And I think that was happening a little bit with Mike. I think now he's getting his hands where he needs them early enough to make better swing choices. And at the end of the day, that's what the game's about. All these guys have physical talent, but if you're swinging balls, you're not giving yourself a chance. And he's improved that in a lot of ways. He hits it harder than anybody I've seen, but his chase and lack of walks will forever limit his potential. I think he can get there. I do agree, though, that it's probably never going to be top tier, so he's going to have some element of being a free swinger. Teams are always going to be able to pitch at him a little bit. He's just gotta find a way to mitigate the chase to an acceptable level. What is his level of chase right now on Money Mike? 2 percentile. It's crazy to be this good with a 2nd percentile chase. 2025, 1st percentile, 2024, 3rd percentile, 2023, 6th percentile, and then that rookie year, 7th percentile. So he's never been good at it. But gosh, can't he just get to 20th percentile? Find a way? That number's insane, 43.8. Guys are going to really test him. It's wild. If he had any walk, he'd be a 950 OPS this year. I wonder how he'll get better at that. Can he still get better at that? He's only 25. You have to know that he knows that that's hurting him. But I do think that the setup has allowed him to be a little better in terms of getting to the pitches that he needs to get to. Like that fastball up from Fairbanks, he's not usually getting to that pitch unless you're pretty loaded early. So good comment on the chase rate. I didn't realize it was still that low. I mean, still that bad, 43.8%. That's wild. If he can ever slightly limit the chase, he's another fantastic hitter. Good call. Sawyer Stroh-Snyder reminds me of Stowers. Yeah, Stowers I got to look at too. He also hit some home runs in this game. If I'm Sandy, I'm pissed at the coaching staff. Part of why I don't like pitch calling from the dugout. Yeah. Sandy should probably get dealt at the deadline. I'm surprised he hasn't been dealt yet, to be honest. This could be why. Strikeout rate's not very high. I still think he's very good. Very good. I like his approach a lot. Like, you'd love to have him in your rotation. I don't think he can get back in the Cy Young conversation, though, without more strikeouts in the current landscape. Money Mike and Junior Caminero have that steep entry point to flat bat path that when it's on, it's really on. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're going to have the long swing, you can't exacerbate it with the big scoop uppercut. Like, you got to be, if you're going to be long, you got to still be more direct, and that's what you see with those two hitters. Great comment there, blatant respect. He is still so young. That's true. Defense and power gives him a nice floor. Agree with that. Last year, they tried to have him walk more in a tanked his whole approach. He's constantly working on it, though. It's different game by game. I'm not saying it's easy, but you know, maybe sometimes when you commit to being okay striking out looking or looking for a certain thing and not getting it, like, and you commit to that helps you with lack of to chase less. But we'll see. We'll see. Do I got to believe that the Marlins are going to come back? I don't think they're coming back. I think they're cooked. But I do like some of their players. All right, while we're here, because there's not a ton to watch, they have some prospects to watch as well. I want to quickly check in on Strider, who pitched in this game as well yesterday. I don't want Heineman. I want Strider yesterday, who also pitched in this game, because we're curious kind of how he looks. 6 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, 3 home runs, 100 pitches, player breakdown. So 94.8 on the velo. He's still not back up to all the levels. However, the shape has come back. Averaged 19 inches of induced vertical break on the fastball yesterday. That's what we've seen consistently since he's been back, is at least the shapes are back. Slider, changeup, curveball, whiff rate is getting there. 6 of 13 on the sliders, really good. 4 or 5 on changeups, actually. Low-key, pretty impressive. So let's try to speed through Spencer a little bit in this one. Xavier Edwards. Quadzilla is rolling. All right, first up, Xavier Edwards is going to smack a hit. He's just a good player. Next up, Hicks. Takes him way back. Unfortunately for Strider, not a home run, as Ronnie catches it out there, way out there. Next up is Otto Lopez. At least he's got his shape back, you know? Then now we can start working on the other stuff. Double play. Inning over. Second inning. Kyle Stowers going to punch in with a changeup. High changeup. Swing and miss. Didn't mean to do that, but that worked. He's got good separation, 10 miles an hour. Next up, Jacob Marcy. Gonna get him out on a first pitch fastball. Ooh, it's a bunt. Riley. Oh, nice play. That sucks for Marcy. That was a pretty good bunt attempt. 2 outs, nobody on. And swinging strike 3 to Morel on a fastball. Ah, there's that Strider uphill heater. Look at that thing. Look at that thing ride. That's nasty. Strider does have that really smooth little finish thing he does. Right there. I like it. Pretty cool. All right, back at it. Next batter up. Top of the third inning, Owen Casey. 94-6 at the top of the zone. Homer. So there was a time where nobody was clearing him out at that location because the pitch was 99. So the velocity is another component of his pitching style that hasn't really come all the way back. Not that 94-6 is slow. It's fast, but it's not fast relative to where he was. And Casey beats him to the spot for the home run right here, even though this is a 19 ball. So, you know, IVB's not everything. You need a combination of both, you know? All right, fly out there. I mean, home run there. Here's a curveball out to Joe Mack. Next up, Javier Sanoa. 4-seam up. That beat him to the spot. That was pretty good, although some of these swings are decent. Fly out to Money Mike, 2 outs there, and then a called strike 3 on a slider here to Xavier Edwards, bottom of the zone. Good pitch for the finish on to the 4th. Curveball to Hicks, strikeout looking, so a couple strikeouts looking, very nice. And then a 1-pitch out here to Otto Lopez. Just beat him with that fastball up in the zone. Acuna casually over there, making the play. Here's the second home run. This is Stowers. So we'll watch Stowers in the flow of this because he goes 2 home runs here. I've always said a couple things about Stowers. Great combination of short swing length and above average bat speed. And I do believe that his swing is built to cover the top of the zone. That's my thesis on it, even though he completely whiffs on this one to go down 0-2. I think you're going to see a lot of high pitch home runs out of Stowers in the future. So curveball down there, and then curveball here must be a hanger. And that one's low. He finds a way to adjust with the lower half and catapults that to right for a home run. They need to get him going. Wow, that bounced off the top of the scoreboard and over. So I'm talking about with the lower half of Stowers here. Went down with the legs. We've been talking about it a lot on the show. Juan Soto style. Really a bunch of guys, but this is a phenomenal adjustment by Stowers. Doesn't have to change his bat path. Changes the height of the whole setup by getting lower a little bit. And then he can reach out and get it and backspin that ball to right. So good swing there. Shoot, where are we at? All right, Jacob Marcy back to Strider. Jacob Marcy going to strike out on a slider. Looking. It's weird that he's gotten a few bottom of the zone looking strikeouts with sliders. You don't see that a lot. Here's a swinging strikeout on a slider to Morel. So strikeout, strikeout. And strikeout. Here's Casey. Change up. Ooh, that one was nasty. That one was really good. This one outhand looks like it's going to the top of the zone, and then it just reverse actions. Very nice pitch there by Spencer.
Casey strikes out on a good Strider.
Next up, walk to Joe Mack. And then called strike 3 to Sanoa with the fastball. So, I mean, I think he's looked better. It just doesn't have, I think it's Spencer. He is himself again. He's just not throwing as hard as before. So it's not as explosive, and he's going to have to be a little more precise. He used to have so much margin for error when he's throwing 19 balls at 99, 100 miles an hour.
Fastball on the ground to second.
You know, he could really be poor with his location and get away with it in that 2023 season, which we just saw with the 20 wins. And now he just got a little bit less margin for error, but he's not a lost cause like he was when we saw him earlier, like in spring training or last year, where he had no, like he didn't look like himself. He had no shape on his pitches. There's a nice curveball for a strike. Very nice strikeout right here. Otto Lopez, the not often used curveball, but this is very nicely done by Spencer. Nasty. All right, next inning. There's definitely a home run coming. Here it is, Stowers. So watch this whole at bat again versus Stowers.
That's before Howie Mandel.
His four-seam IVB has been up, but in this start, he got an extra 2 inches. Wonder what he changed.
Which one?
It's been trending up. If you go look at his start in LA, he also was throwing 18, 19s as well. It was just his shape was way down at the beginning, so it's been trending up.
Oh, really?
All right, another 0-2 to Homer. 0-2, fastball up, fouled away. It looks like Stowers is struggling to cover the top the way that I'm used to him covering it. Making contact, but not all over that.
Did you get selected is the question.
Change up down, he survives that. That was a good pitch that he barely survived.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was going to see here from Spencer Strider. Dylan Lee is loose sitting in the bullpen for Atlanta, by the way.
They're in Miami. Miami IVB plays up at sea level. Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty minute difference from most other ballparks. But yeah, I mean, also in domes, too. You get a lot of good action in domes. All right, so Stowers completely flipping the script and homering on 2 off-speed pitches at the bottom of the zone in this game is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Another mid-swing adjustment to get lower. It's kind of the same deal as the pitch that he hit homered off Spencer earlier on. Same swing, really. Gets a little lower, gets that extension out front. So, yeah, just got to get those balls a little bit lower, I guess, on the chase level if you're a Strider. I guess that's what you would take from that, but another good swing. So that's the second home run. 2 more at-bats for Spencer. He's going to get his last out here versus Marcy, and we won't watch the last batter because it's a walk. But he ends up pitching into the 7th, 6 1/3, 3 runs. They're all homers. I don't know. Interesting dude. His stuff is definitely back shape-wise. Not throwing hard anymore, but like compared to where he was. But you know, there's a lot of good things happening right now for Spencer Strider, I would say, in terms of at least the way his stuff looks again. So happy to see that. Like, here's where the fastball is right now on the aggregate this year: 17.1 inches of rise. You see last year 16.4. In his heyday, 18.4, and it was a lot harder. But I think he's a lot closer to this shape now because he had some sloppiness early in the season, but that he started to clean that up. Still only 27, so curious to watch his journey. Still interested in watching his journey. All right, what else we got? Thinking adding a 3rd speed range to his arsenal will be the next huge pitching trend, like the splitty and the seam shift sinker before it. Yeah, I mean, that's the 2 speeds down pitch. That's the curveball, slow sweeper, slow something. You need something slow to keep guys honest, for sure. No doubt about that. Slider needs to be back foot, not middle down. Yeah, still seeing a little bit of an issue with that. Ooh, konnichiwa, watching from Japan. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate it. Hey, AO, 6 more wins till Knicks makes history. I'll be so happy with 2 more wins, Maya, and then we'll be concerned about the finals, but just get me to the finals. It's been way too long. If it wasn't for Stowers, he could have gone 8 innings or a complete game. It's true. It's true. But hey, there was Kyle Stowers, though. So unfortunately, he was there. Man, I need to order a burrito or something. I am hungry. Hungry. Let me put that in real quick and then we'll continue the show. Definitely have about 3 or 4 prospects I want to watch. I don't remember who else I had pegged for this game. I know there was a pretty good pitching matchup yesterday. This is a good comment here. There's a pretty good game pitching matchup yesterday in with Sacramento and the Angels. That was Soriano and Severino. I know Severino had a 10 strikeout day, but Soriano still pitching pretty well. 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 2.44 ERA. On the other side, though, Sevy, 7 innings, no walks, 10 strikeouts, 2 runs. So they went head-to-head pretty well, and the A's were able to win that game after they walked off Ryan Zephyr-John at the very end of that game. So that's the thing. Like, they have some arms, the A's. Like, I like Silseth's arm. I like Zephyr-John's arm a lot, but he can't throw strikes, really, and that's what's hurting him. Here's Ryan Zephyr-John's baseball savant page. As you can see, a lot to like, but 11th percentile walk, 13.5% walks. That's why he's got a 4.63 ERA. You know, you can have good stuff, but if you don't command it, you're not giving yourself a chance. So that's the problem with the Angels, man. They just can't seem to have both going at the same time. You know, Kirby's got the know-how, but he's old. You know, Romano was already in and out. Pomeranz, I think, has been kind of in and out. So hasn't been great, but I wanted to check in on this game. Jose Soriano definitely has dipped a little bit his last couple games. You know, you look at the game logs. He had the 5 Ernie game here against the White Sox, and then a 6 Ernie game here against the Dodgers. But other than that, he's still been very solid. I still believe in him as a top 5 potential Cy Young guy in the American League. But yeah, no doubt that he's reverting back a little bit. You know, to being merely good and not like unbelievable like he was at the beginning of the season, which I find interesting. That's the story of the Angels. Walks are brutal with the whole staff. They are. Severino home away splits are nuts. What's the deal? What's the deal? The deal is he's not comfortable pitching there. I'm not really sure why. But he's not, you know. He's been absolutely hammered at Sutter Health Park in his time with the A's. Here are the current park factors over the last 2 years, because that's the only 2 years they've been in. And you can see they're right there behind Coors Field in park factor. 110 park factor on that Sacramento field. So that's a little bit of part of it, you know, Little League ballpark. Rocky's still obviously the main jam. The other top hitters parks at the moment, according to this metric at least, Nationals Park, which you would never think, Tigers Park, which you would never think, and then some that you would think. Baltimore, LA, Philly, Toronto, Arizona, Yankees, Red Sox, those all make sense. As for the best field to pitch in, it remains these AL West parks, Rangers and Mariners. Petco, Cleveland, Miami, St. Louis, San Francisco, Milwaukee, which is a little strange to me, and the Pirates and Wrigley are the top 10 park factor. Just for homers, Dodgers is number 1, way ahead of everybody else. Who's the worst just for home runs? Pirates. Okay. Interesting. Hits, Coors, and then A's, number 2. So the A's field is really inflating home runs, doubles, hits in general. So I think that might have something to do with it. But yeah, his splits have been tough. He's given up 6 home runs in 4 games at home, only 2 home runs in 7 games on the road. I don't know, man. Some of it's probably just coincidental. I don't think it's 100% the field. It's just maybe just not pitching as well there. You know, obviously the field is something, but hard to pin it all entirely on the field, you know, at the same time. All right, let me see what else I had on the docket today besides the prospects, or we'll just jump into the prospects. No, that's it. That's everybody I had written down. So I think we're just going to go right into the prospects then. I have 3 to look at today. 3 to look at today. Let me see what this comment is. Have you seen Daniel Jackson, catcher for Georgia, looking like he'll win the SEC Triple Crown? Interesting draft prospect, pretty low on a lot of boards. Haven't seen him yet. The 2 catchers we looked at are Ryder Helfrich and Von Lackey. Have not seen Daniel Jackson yet. Maybe we'll get to him once we can make a little bit of a playlist for him if he gets up on one of the mocks pretty high. Georgia plays one of the smallest ballparks in SEC and a slight elevation. He's not great defensively, which is what you need to be as a catcher. Okay, so that's probably why he didn't go up the draft boards. Good educational information there from Mitch. All right, on to Synergy. We got 3 guys to look at. We got 2 college pitchers and 1 high school hitter. So we'll start with our first college pitcher, which is Cade Townsend of Ole Miss. Here he is. Here's some fastball. 97 miles an hour over the top. Little delivery here.
2-1 Ole Miss. Bottom of the third. Trying to chase a high fastball.
So throws plenty hard.
Balls in the zone.
You can see that fastball playing up at the top. That one's 93. We saw 97 earlier.
Ball takes a strike. 1-2.
Pretty compact little delivery here. Actually reminds me a little bit of River Ryan. Maybe a little bit more of a lean back, but similar body type.
Ball at third, Steele at second, Neal at first. Ole Miss got a chase.
Just blowing away some Bama guys.
That means it's all good. And so there's a lot to like from scouts in Cade Townsend.
Ooh, there's a breaking ball. See you later. That was nasty.
Innings, and keep us in the ball game.
Coach,
Ooh, curveball.
We'll let you go. LeBron, 286 hitter with
Oh, this is Justin LeBron. Curveball there. So it's a big two speed down curveball, hard slider, hard four-seamer. There's the hard slider. That's a nice pitch. That's a nice chase pitch.
Here's the payoff.
Ooh, and there's the curveball. So remembering we watched Liam Peterson of Florida. This is sort of like, you know, similar demographic, college righty, SEC. Peterson has not had as much success this year as Townsend, I don't believe, but it was perceived to have better stuff. There's the changeup. So I'm seeing 4 pitches that are usable here. The lean back is a little Seth Lugo coated. I would agree with that. Even the little over the top. Now he does it with a little more pace. Not quite Carson Fulmer, but up there. There's a slider. So it's gyro slider, big curveball, 4-seam, and changeup. We also have him from the side angle here, so we can check out the delivery. Huh. Who does he remind me of? There's a pitcher I'm thinking of. Reminds me a little bit of Walker Buehler, but a different leg kick, similar arm slot, but shorter arm action. God, there's somebody else I'm thinking of. I can't place it right now. I don't mind that. All right, so that's the side delivery, and then we also have a low home angle. Thanks for making this, Mitch. This is really nice. Really, really nice. Uncle Ted, not a Jackson Flora fan. 75th in K- walk is not a top starter stat. He's been shoving, though. Curveball there. I can't think of the pitcher I'm thinking of, but there's something. I wonder what his extension is. He's definitely leaping down the mound. Doesn't look huge stride. I would say it's probably around average. You can see that he throws with more intent on his fastball a little bit, but that's Cade Townsend. Real quick little detour to see what his stats look like. Cade Townsend, Ole Miss. There he is, Cade Townsend from California. Stats. Pitching. Man, the college stats are the worst. All right, so on the year, 3.81 SCRA. I don't know what the freak this is. What is happening? He's thrown 59 innings. He's allowed 49 hits, 25 runs, 17 walks, 81 strikeouts. Has given up 9 home runs. He got clipped for 3 home runs against Mississippi State in a game. That's a little surprising to see. 4 hit batters. Looks like he hasn't been pitching very deep in the game either. That game against Alabama that we just watched, 3 2/3, 3 1/3 the weekend before. I mean, really, his dominant start is at Florida this year, it looks like. Or at Tennessee and at Florida. It looks like maybe those 3 weeks at Tennessee, LSU, at Florida. Those are probably the weeks that he showed a lot. SERA is running season ERA. GERA is listed for his ERA of the specific outing. Got it. Thank you. All right, so that's Cade Townsend. Seems like he's been good, but not necessarily shockingly dominant. I do think that he's got pretty good stuff, though. So, okay, that was our first guy to look like. You in the Hall of Fame yet? I'm in my college Hall of Fame. I don't know. Does that count? All the best NCAA pitchers are sophomores. Okay, what am I looking for? Synergy. All right, since we're on the topic of college pitcher, let's watch another college pitcher next. Hunter Dietz, left-handed pitcher out of Arkansas, who's been hurt quite a bit, was a big prospect in high school, and has just recently come back, I believe with some good results. I'll fact-check that on the end. But here he is, lefty, kind of an over-the-top look to him.
Here's Rylan Luho. Got him up.
There's a nice, I mean, the fastball, I think, has a little bit of left to right plane and downhill plane, so I'm expecting him to have some breaking action. There was a curveball. Yeah, so he's going to be able to get you to chase below the zone with his natural angle to him. Yeah, that's a good slider. I like that slider a lot. That's legit.
So everything he does this year is something new, and he gets a strikeout.
Honestly, he hit from the stretch. He reminds me a little bit of Brent Hedrick on the Yankees, the relief pitcher, who's got a good fastball, good slider. I like the delivery, very simple. I think he'll be able to throw strikes quite a bit. Fastball looks a little cutty to me. Yeah, I don't have the data on that, I don't think, but that's it's pretty cool. All right, here's the side angle. Oh, wait, maybe not.
I mean, this is a next level.
Side angle, here it is. Oh, I like his delivery. I like it a lot. It's super simple. Very quiet. I like what I'm seeing with the delivery. I actually think he could probably throw harder. I think there's real reliever risk with him due to the health and two-pitch mix, but I think high leverage is in his future. You can tell that that slider's plus. You can tell that just from watching it pretty clearly plus, that slider. I'm going to go back to him throwing from this way again, just so like he gets leverage over the ball coming downhill, and I think there's some really good tunneling possibilities with the fastball and the slider. And the slider, I think, is going to be a big-time pitch. So, interesting. Interesting for sure. I want to see another slider when we get a chance. Spitting image of Justin Steele. If the fastball has actual cut, then yes. But I can't tell if it actually has. I'm Japanese. Nice to meet you. Thanks for being with us. All the way from Japan. That's so cool. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for hanging. There's that slider. See, that looks pretty good to me. I didn't see anything but fastball sliders, so not sure if there's a changeup in there or not to battle right-handers. Yeah, I don't know. Story of Arkansas. Starters, two-pitch guys. Hagen Smith is a good example of that. I played with the kid Jess Todd, who was a righty back in the day from Arkansas, and he was really good. Two-pitch guy, had a little cut action. That was a random Arkansas anecdote there. All right, so we've seen Hunter Dietz. We got eyes on him, and then our next prospect is a high school prospect, Trevor Condon. Here he is at the plate. Trevor Condon looks like Tigers' scout team. From first glance, before I even watch any more of him, from first glance, I can already tell he's a pretty good athlete. Which, you say, why can you tell that? You can just see it. Like, the body looks very athletic. Kind of a shorter setup, but again, it's high school. It's hard to tell how finished a guy is physically. But I like the swing. He's already preloaded back. Very level. Head stays still. He has top end speed. You can just see it. He's an athlete. You can see those legs. You know.
For big moments. And again, we saw him hit 6 homers during the
Yeah, I think I could actually catch up to Kaima Taira if you want
right
in a minute.
He's going to have himself a broken bat.
Charlie Condon's little brother. Is that true? They're related? That's awesome. So Georgia guys. You know what? This is a good comment on Dietz before. A touch of David Peterson. There is a touch of David Peterson. I agree. There's a touch of that. Not as tall as David, but yeah. Anyway, I'm liking his swing a lot. Look how early he's loaded. Actually, he's got a little bit of Bryce Harper right before he delivers the bat. There's a little bit of like a lag there that Bryce has. Watch, he loads, and then this from here on, that little re-raise up of the hands before dropping down. Now, Bryce has a special ability to do that, and he's somewhat cleaned that up a little bit, but I'm seeing a little bit of that for sure. Let's watch the kid from the side after this swing. Here's Trevor Condon from the side angle. Speaking of Peterson, what'd you think of his outing yesterday? I thought it was really good. I know that he was in a little bit of a jam. That first inning ended up getting a big strikeout on a slider. I thought it was good. I mean, he always shoves against the Nats. But look, I've been telling you guys, Peterson's a good pitcher. I mean, but you can't expect him to go out there and like strike out the world. Like, he's a good pitcher. I think like the way when he was an all-star last year, that's probably the high end of his ability, but he's not a low-end pitcher either. I think he's a very good number 3, number 4. You know, in a given season. Not sure that he'll be like the best pitcher ever for the I don't know how well he's going to trend, but I still think he's a very useful pitcher. Plus, he's comfortable in both roles. Interesting load here, man. I still can't really get my head wrapped around this last move. So look, he does this really early load and stops, and then there's a second move here where the hands come back up again before delivering them. I'm not sure against higher level competition if he doesn't want to just get these hands up earlier. But right now that's a part of a secondary loading mechanism that I'm not sure how I feel about. You guys seen what I'm talking about? Condon is a hella fiery, plays with a lot of passion. We're talking about 2 people at once, but it's fine. Per Eno on rates and barrels, Peterson lost the most called strikes at the top of the zone due to ABS due to any other pitcher in baseball. Wow. So you're loving the swing. I want to run it. I want to run the swing back a little bit longer. I don't dislike it, but it's definitely an interesting start-stop. Like Mitch is saying here, there's a start-stop aspect to it. And hold on, I'm going to reload this this playlist. There's a start-stop to it, I would agree. And then also like the fact that he re-wraps his hands here at the end, I'm wondering against better competition, I'll be able to keep doing that. But no doubt he looks like a great athlete. I'll take your word for him being a fiery player, gritty player, which I love. Look how dirty that uniform is. That's beautiful. I like the 2-hand finish. I think he'll be able to go to all fields. But yeah, I wonder a little bit about that double pause. Yeah, they start down, but then they go up to come back down. It's just like it's an extra amount of movement. Why not get them into the cock position earlier? I'm just wondering. I'm not sure about the answer to that, but that's what I'm kind of wondering. That last swing was better, more of a pause and not a stop. I mean, I guess he's waiting on the guy to throw the ball, but aesthetically, beautiful swing. A little curious about the load pattern. Don't have any reason to poo-poo it, but could be a thing. Reminds you of Jacob Parker. Okay. All right, so there was this one more guy to look into. What's his name here? Kaima Taira. Let me see if I can find him on Synergy, all right? Because we have some NPB. And then I got to say goodbye in a little bit. I have a Zoom here in a few minutes. So, multi-game, pitcher, Kaima Taira, Cebu Lions. This has been requested for a long time from Joel Duval. Appreciate you requesting this for a long time. So thanks for that. Apply. Let's look at his games. This is the most recent one. So here he is, Taira, Kaima Taira. Ooh, a short little guy. I remember we watched a little bit of Sato getting ready for WBC. Definitely the next guy to come over, but we'll do a Sato watching for sure. So we're just gonna watch maybe 2 or 3 innings of this guy pitch. That field is really cool that they're playing in. That was a nice big curveball. So physically, he's a little bit unique looking. Definitely going to be a low release height. Not very big, but using that low release height for sure. I sent his arsenal at the Discord, 7 different grips. All right, I'll check that out. This is great. Change up away or splitter. Good pitch. I'm loving this stadium, right? This is the is this the Cebu Lions, or is it whose field is this? Maybe the Fighters? This might be the Fighters. Oh, baby, how's your knee? Oh, Franmil Reyes, what's up, dog? Yeah, that fastball is going to play at the top of the zone from his release height for sure. That's the Nippon Ham Fighter Stadium. Little ground out there. Yeah, the Fighters. It looks beautiful. I want to go to Japan so bad and go to some of these games. He's a squatted truck version of Darvish. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit for sure. Franmil has a compound in DR from all his Japan earnings. He's a perfect Japanese player. They need power, out there, so he can provide that. That's a nice sinker. Adam, I'm producing a podcast this weekend with The Miz. What's something you'd like to know about The Miz? Guess I'd like to know a little bit more about his workout regimen, what he does in the gym, like what he prioritizes. Is he does he like to lift a lot? Is he more of a movement guy? Like what's his belief system in terms of his workouts? Looks like he's got those dump truck legs, so I would assume he does quite a bit of working out. Yeah, you can see this guy's got a huge mix, to your point, Joel Duval. Lots of rumblings that the Giants are calling up another top prospect, Victor Berocotto. He was pulled from the lineup last night. That'd be cool. Synergy pointing that he has 8 different grips. All right, I'm going to watch that really quick on I'm going to watch one more batter here in the second, this should be the last batter of the second, I think. And then I'll go look at what you posted in the Discord, and then we'll do probables, and then I have some things coming on. Oh yeah, tell the Miz that if he would like to come on the show, I'd love to have him on the show at some point. That'd be great. I am working on getting a guest every Friday in the future, so stay tuned on that. Does he generally sit at 96 miles an hour? I don't know. It's looking like it. Yeah, I see that. All those are all the different pitches they're listing off there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, there's the fly out. All right. That's it for him. Let me see what we got in the Discord. I guess it was just posted. Here it is. All right, so 5'8", 209 pitches. He was going to pitch in the WC, but got hurt. Here are the different pitches that he throws. Fastball, cutter, sinker, forkball, changeup, slider, sweeper, curveball. My goodness. So fastball 14 and 8, or 15 and 9. Cutter 9 and 0, okay. Sinker 8 and 15, okay. Forkball 2 and 13. Changeup 8 and 14. Slider 1 and -2. That's a gyro. Sweeper negative, and he's throwing every pitch type. So you're right. He's got a huge mix. Stuff Plus, whatever this Stuff Plus model likes his 4-seam, probably from the low release, changeup and slider. From a usage standpoint, he's a sinker, 4-seam cutter slider versus righties versus lefties. Is more of a 4-seam cutter forkball changeup versus lefties. So not a lot of breaking balls to lefties, which is interesting. Arsenal stats and metrics down here. And so far in NPB, I mean, they're not hitting him at all. Changeup's getting hit a little bit, but everything else looks really good. Best whiff rate, forkball, 48%. Wow. Chase rate, slider. Changeup just got a few barrels. Other than that, everything pretty good. Both the fork and changeup. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yeah. Oh, we are very aware of Mr. Teruki Sato. Cannot wait to watch him a little bit more. We'll break him down in the future, without a doubt. This is the pitch plot for Taira. So definitely we'll break down Sato in the future, though. Thanks for that comment. And I can't wait to watch him come over to America and MLB at some point. So there's the movement profile. Ton of pitches. Left, right, middle, everything. You got it. Using the low release height to his advantage. And then, yeah, in miles per hour, 4 seams averaging 95. So 95 from that slot's very fascinating. Just looking at him and stereotyping him and profiling him, I wouldn't have guessed he threw that hard, but he sure does. So pretty interesting guy. Thanks for having me check him out, Joel. That's really nice. All right, that's it for the show today. It wasn't as much baseball yesterday. Again, reiterating this now. No show tomorrow night. So you're going to get a day off, and then Sunday morning, there'll be a study session for me for Sunday Night Baseball and some other stuff, whatever happens tonight and Saturday. So be there or be square for Baseball and Coffees Sunday morning. All right, here's the games. Astros, Cubs, Arrighetti and JMO from Wrigley Field. Cardinals, Reds, Kyle Leahy, Chris Paddock. Guardians, Phillies, Gavin Williams, Christopher Sanchez. Can Christopher Sanchez keep it up? Leader in the clubhouse at Cy Young, right? Him and Sale. Rays, Yankees, here it is. Nick Martinez and Garrett Cole. Number 45 returns to the mound. First time we've seen him in a real game since the World Series 2024. So very excited to watch him pitch. I'll be tuned in on that. Pirates also, I think I'm going to do a video. Garrett Cole's return from Tommy John. So you'll get a video tonight. Pirates, Jays, Bubba Chandler trying to hang in there, trying to make the improvements. Said he was pitching soft. See if he pitches a little less soft today versus Gausman and the Jays. Twins, Red Sox, Prelep and Tolley. Been meaning to look at Prelep. At some point, I'm going to have to do that. Tolley, we always watch. Mets, Marlins, Tobias Myers, Yuri Perez. Interesting series there. Tigers, Orioles, Flaherty, Bassett. Nats, Braves, Miles Michaelis, and TBA for the Braves. Mariners, Royals, Gilbert and Cameron. Dodgers, Brewers, Robleski and Henderson. Rangers, Angels, DeGrom and Grayson. Need to see how Grayson looks. Grayson Rodriguez, first game back for the Angels. Rockies, Diamondbacks, Sugano, Soroka. And A's, Padres, Springs, Bueller, who's been actually pitching good a little bit lately. And White Sox, Giants is our final game. Davis Martin, who's been awesome. And Trevor McDonald has also been pretty good. Both the guys have been watched on this channel. So that's it. Thanks for hanging with me today. Appreciate you guys on the TikTok, on MLB, on everywhere. And I will catch you guys on Sunday morning. RIP to Michaelis at Truist Park. Guaranteed 3 home runs allowed. All right, take it to the bank, folks. Take it to the bank. Either way, thanks for hanging with me. I'll see you guys on Sunday morning. Remember, no stream tomorrow night. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, all right? Have a good one. See you guys later. Bye-bye.